Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Let's Talk Autism. If you are brand new to our Let's Talk Autism sessions, what this is all about is us getting together, learning, sharing, and supporting each other on this journey with our loved ones that we call autism. So I am Nita. I am one of the admins of this wonderful establishment. Mr. Charles and Linda should be here shortly. Hoping everybody is doing okay. Um, Before I get started, I wanted to log on to TikTok also. Hey, Mr. Charles.
Hey, Nita, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine.
Okay. 1 second. We're going to see who's here in a second.
I think I saw Teresa and I saw Victoria, I think.
Let's see. Hey, Teresa. How are you? Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Teresa.
Let me see. Okay. Here we go. Well, it won't work. Every time I try stuff. Victoria, hello.
Hi, Victoria.
Hello,
Hi,
Steve.
Steve.
How are you? Welcome, welcome. Glad you're doing good. I'm playing with this thing on see if I can get TikTok started up. It won't. Oh, here it is. Here we go.
Hmm.
Here we go.
I'm wearing the TikTok my daughter gave me, but
You wearing the TikTok? Wearing the TikTok.
yeah,
So, how was your day, Mr. Charles?
it was good. How about yours?
It was good. It was good. Sammy came home. He got home today. So I'm
Okay.
feeling really good.
That's your
Feeling
dog,
really good. Yeah. Sammy the
right?
dog.
Yeah.
So he's doing really good. Let me see if um Linda. Let me see if I can get in touch with our Linda here. See if she might be napping. If you are in the group, if you are in the group, make sure you click on the wrong one. Darn it. Click on the video to join us in the live chat. That way we can see your comments. If you have any, if you're making them inside the group, we may not see them. So make sure you click on the video and you can come on in. No, that's next. Chip, I got to get him a chip and get him neutered because he is in that phase, sniffing around. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely got to get him neutered. He's right up under my chair now. Oh, I thought he was. He moved. He's down in the basement barking. Yep, but that's my next move. That is my next move to get him neutered, and maybe he will stay in place for a while. Good evening, everybody. We are on live for our Sunday evening Let's Talk Autism. What it's all about is us coming together to learn, share, and support one another. If you have a question, throw it in the chat. If you are a parent who can help, please feel free. That's what it's all about. Um, Towards the end of our discussions, I will allow anyone who wants to come on up on a platform. You can come up if you have something motivational, if you want to share your business, If you have an organization, if you're doing something awesome for autism, you have an event coming up, you have a book you're writing. Of course, everything has to have to do with autism, but you are more than welcome to come on up. Guess where he was, Teresa? 2 blocks. 2 blocks. There is a from me. She's literally she's on the next block, two blocks over and one street, 1 block down. Um, she was literally this close to me. She said she went out and she was getting ready to back up, and Sammy was under her car, well, behind her car, and she caught him on the camera as she was backing up. So I said, "Oh my goodness!"
Wow.
For 3 days, with the help of the Love of Louie, it's a group that helps to find missing pets, and the Detroit Rescue. Um, they were like the go between to make sure it was my dog. So I had to show pictures and all of that good stuff. And then she came right around, 2 blocks over. She dropped them off too. I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. Yes, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Hello, everybody. How are you this evening? Hello there, CJ's mom. How are you? Thank you for the gift, you guys. You can come on in and say hello. Victoria. Victoria says, I have a question. How do parents of older or bigger kids get their child to leave somewhere without picking them up and hauling them out? So I'm assuming you get their child to leave. They want to stay wherever they're at. They want to stay. You guys have a solution? Anyone have a child that's being stubborn and don't want to leave? How do you get them to leave where they're at? Anyone help her out? I've actually haven't CJ's mom says social story. I haven't had that problem with DeAndre because he's usually right up under me. Hey Verna.
Hi,
Thanks
Verna.
for coming in. How are you today? I'm doing good. You okay today? Anyone have that issue? CJ's mom says the same happens with CJ. And she suggests a social story maybe will help. Before, let's try a social story before and after. So maybe that'll help. That'll help. If anyone else has any suggestions, please be sure to throw them in the chat. That's what this is all about. Learn, share, and support. Michelle says, I have told Jaden I will take away his favorite thing or bribery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bribe. Yep. That's another way to do it. CJ's mom, what's the situation? Oh, if you have an older child and they refuse, maybe you guys went somewhere and they refuse to leave, but it's time to go. How do you go about getting them to leave out of that place without causing a big scene? CJ's mom also says small rewards. Victoria says Andrew will grab hold of anything he can to prevent leaving. Social stories don't seem to have any effect on Andrew. Okay. What about the rewards or the bribery? Kelly says, I end up having to pick my son up off the floor, but I will offer him his snack. Okay. Kenyana says, I call it positive reinforcement. Oh, when you pick them up. Not the same. Hey, not the same. I know some parents start 30 minutes before leave and tell them with a count. So what he's saying is start early. When you almost know it's time to leave the place, maybe start getting them prepared.
And I think that's a good point too. And, because once it happens once, you know that it's a potential problem. Anytime you go somewhere that this child might want to stay there, might not be willing to leave when it's time to leave. So, start the process of leaving early. Start the whole thing early. So, you're not at a point where, we gotta go, we gotta get going here. It's allow yourself a leeway of time so you have time to persuade him to leave.
Michelle says, I have told Jaden we will get Mickey D's if he comes on. Oh yeah, the bride. Mickey D's. That's always, or most of the time for our babies, it's a winner. Kenyana says, I give Daniel 10 minutes warning, 5 minutes warning, 3-minute warning, and then the 1-minute warning. Okay, you do the countdown. Victoria says, it's hit and miss for rewards or bribery. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. Okay. Oh, let me see, Steve. Okay. Steve says, unfortunately, you have to have clear consequences to bad behavior. It takes time and to follow through.
Yeah.
Follow through. Okay.
And that's where, each child is different. I mean, for me, this never was a problem growing up because, I could understand, the need to leave a place at a certain time. The certain time it was time to go, and the need to leave a place because we had to get somewhere else at a certain time. Like I remember, leaving a baseball game because we had to be back in time for dinner.
Right.
And
so, well, going off of what Steve says, so the consequences to bad behavior, are you saying like take away something instead of a reward, giving them a reward? Are you saying like take away something? Maybe their iPad or maybe a favorite toy or something. Kelly says, I will high five him when we get in the car and give him his snack right away. He will definitely remember next time. Okay. High five.
Well, another thing is it may work with some kids is tell them what's next on the agenda for the day, and if it's something that the child looks forward to, and say we got to get out of here so we can do this.
Right.
In other words, that now instead of using the bribery per se with the McDonald's, after this we're going to go to McDonald's. You tell them up in advance, and now we got to leave here so we can get to McDonald's. You see, if you won't leave, then we're not going to McDonald's.
Michelle says Jaden doesn't respond to the countdown thing. It reminds him of school.
That's why
said,
each child is different. And circumstances of children are different. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the individual. Okay.
And the extent to which the child can understand the reasons for things.
Kenyana says sometimes when the police, oh, I'm sorry, I'm saying police. Sometimes when the place is crowded or chaotic, Daniel asks to leave himself. Okay. When it's too
Yeah,
much going on, he's ready to go. Kelly says, I have more of an issue getting my son to go somewhere. He takes his music player to keep him occupied. Jordan is in in the here and now. So I have to reward at the moment. Okay.
yeah. Again, that's why each child is different. Some kids you're not going to have the problem of their not wanting to leave somewhere because they didn't want to be there in the first place.
Right. Victoria says yes, but if the next thing is not preferred, when then we are right back to wrestling with him to leave. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why it's whatever comes next. That only works if whatever comes next is something the child wants. If
That's
what
when
comes next
you
is not
are
something the child really wants, then you're still stuck with the you know I don't want to go. Yeah.
spot on, Mr. Charles, says Kelly. Michelle says, if it has to do with trains, we are gonna have to stay until it is dark or the place closes. Which come his birthday, we are gonna be in trouble. Okay, trains. Okay, I would have to say if DeAndre goes somewhere like jumping where he can jump, it's probably will be kind of difficult to get him out of there, especially if he's still with energy. But so far, so good. So far, so good. We haven't had to, you know, bribe him.
Yeah, I can relate to what Michelle's saying. Is I loved trains when I was a boy, and I still I still enjoy riding the train. You know, I'm going
Did
to be
you
taking.
collect? Did you collect trains?
Yeah, I did have. I had some push toy trains. I also had a later on when I got older. I had the electric train, um, and I still enjoy it. When I go to visit my daughter, they take me train to Maine and back.
Okay. Steve says the other thing I do with my son is saying we are going and don't sound like he and don't sound like he has a choice. Okay. So you
Yeah,
use that stern voice. It's
yeah,
time to go.
that's that's important. Yeah, it won't work with every child, but that is important to do, though. If you give the child a choice, the child is going to choose what he wants.
Hmm. So I guess you have to try maybe that, Victoria. Maybe try the stern voice and see if that helps. Hey Pammy, how are you? How's Ralphie?
Hey, Pam. Say, who is it that has a son
Hey
that's about to
Tammy.
turn? Hey, Tammy, who is it that has a son who's about to turn 21 or is just turning 21?
Pam. Ralph.
That is Pam. Okay, so
Yeah,
now,
Ralph just
okay,
turned
now
21.
you just remind me who it is I need to congratulate because that's what I'd
Yeah,
forgotten.
yeah, yeah. Michelle says we have about 1,000 train related items, and he just asked for more for his birthday. Oh wow, that's how I am here with the toy cars because he collects toy cars. I mean, he has a room full of them. The basement. I have a couple in here. I think.
I remember one of my favorite books when I was in third grade was a book called David's Railroad, which was, again about a boy who liked, playing with trains.
Mm. So, for those of you who are new coming in, this is Mr. Charles. How old are you, Mr. Charles?
77.
77 years old, and he is on the spectrum. He was diagnosed late. He's been with us for a while, and we always appreciate his knowledge and co-hosting with us.
Yeah, I
Um,
enjoy participating. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, awesome. Kelly says, I don't know about everyone's situation, but I do have a wheelchair to help keep it easier when I'm by myself. That way I get him in and then we go to the car. Example, when we go to the doctors. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pam says, Ralph used to love trains. His brother is a conductor and we got to ride the train. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. That is awesome. We got you got both.
Yeah.
DeAndre was never interested too much in trains, but cars, yes. Cars, yes. We have over 200 Hot Wheels around here. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we all love Mr. Charles.
Yeah, my daughter, well, her thing was she loved big wheels. We first two big wheels she had got stolen, and the third one got stolen, but we found it. We identified because the tassels that were missing from one side of it, so we could recognize that whoever stole it had spray painted it, but yeah, we got it back. But she would ride around in that big wheel and warn everybody to watch out for the woman driver.
Cute. David's Railway is what you said, Charles.
David's Railroad was the title of the book.
Railroad. Okay. David's Railroad.
Yeah, I mean it's an old book because they're talking about when I was in third grade, and that's I mean it was 70 years ago that I entered third grade.
Hi, everybody. If you're coming in, what we
70
do
years ago in September.
every Sunday, 7 Standard Time, we have a Let's Talk Autism. I am live on Facebook and now trying to do TikTok also. But as you come in, please show some love. Tap the screen, say hello. If you have a question, feel free to throw it in the chat. If you hear a question or see a question in the chat and you can help with that question, feel free to chime on in. It's all about us learning, sharing, and supporting each other and our journeys with our loved ones on the autism spectrum. But welcome, everybody. Even if you're not staying a while, tap the screen for me. Say hi. Kelly says, my little grandson loves his Matchbox cars. He'll follow his mama anywhere. Okay.
I think
That'll do
my
it, huh?
brother was little. They had just introduced the Matchbox toys.
When your brother was little. There's
Yeah.
Linda. Hey, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
So, is she there? Let's see. Oh, she's still muted. Lego, Star Wars, and Minecraft. Both boys collect. Okay.
I think Legos were new when my brother was little. Of course, Star Wars hadn't come out yet, needless to say. And Minecraft was much later too. Good night, Steve.
Good night, Steve. Thank you for coming through.
Hey guys.
So, hey, Linda.
Hey.
So Victoria asked, what do you do in a situation where, let's just say, you took Emily somewhere and she didn't want to leave? How do you get her to leave without causing a scene?
With Emily, what I would do now with Emily this age is we always give her a heads up, especially if it's something that's not going to be preferred. So we would say, okay, you have 5 more minutes, or if we were to say, okay, we're going to get ready to leave, and then she might throw a fit, and then we say, okay, you have 5 minutes, and then we're gonna leave. So I kind of give her a timeline. When she was younger, we kind of just had we would say the same thing, but when
Okay.
that 5 minutes got there, we would both have to get together and say, okay, time to go, and we'd have to walk her out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So the timeout thing, but I believe she said she's tried the timeout, or was it the reward thing and it just didn't work? So maybe that'll work, Victoria. Maybe trying not timeout, but the countdown.
Oh yeah. Another
Yeah.
thing too, I know that we have done is we've kind of made it like when we know we're going into a situation that's going to be like that, is we have something after that she would want. So like say, okay, we're going to leave in 5 minutes, and when we leave, you get this, or we're going to go get this, or we're going to go do this. But we kind of make it a preferred thing, something for her to look forward to, because we already are intending it for it to be a problem.
And
Okay.
that was kind of what I was saying too, and what I was suggesting.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything huge. It can be, you know, something that you reward them with, whether it's like screen time or fruit snacks, or, you know, something that, you know, or you drive by, you see something that they like to see on the way home, but something, you know, that is preferred by them.
Victoria says Andrew loves building toys, blocks, magnets, anything he can build with. Declan loves anything Spider-Man and construction toys. Okay.
Yeah. No,
We
Spider
were
Man was
talking
out,
about
and
favorite toys, like DeAndre is cars, and uh it had trains. Michelle says trains, and um Teresa, I think Teresa said trains too, right? Michelle mentioned Legos and Star Wars.
I had building toys as a boy, but building toys we had were different. I had Lincoln Logs for one thing. I also had some Gothic building blocks, and my dad had me building chateaus with them. I think I was the only boy in the neighborhood my age, only child in the neighborhood my age who knew what a chateau was. And then also we had Tinker Toys, another type of thing where you hook these wooden pieces together. What I
Yeah.
remember most was what happened to the canister they came in.
Oh
I was
yeah.
6 at the time I got them, and my sister was 3 years old. My sister started talking about pretending that the canister was a potty, and I thought she was when Jenny pulled down her panties and sat on it. I thought she was going to just pretend to use it as a potty. She didn't pretend, so my mom had to throw the thing out.
Oh wow. Oh, she didn't just pretend. Hello, Latoya. Welcome in. Okay. Michelle says I would rather have him have 900 trained books, not 1,000 toys, since he's turning 13. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, that's the thing. Age appropriate. You have to decide. You have to, use your judgment on age appropriateness with kids in the autism spectrum. It depends. On on one hand, you have the fact. You can't push them beyond what their realistic level is, regardless of the physical age. But on the other hand, there's the fact that you do, if possible, want them to grow up mentally, and you want them to be able to fit in with others. And a 21-year-old who plays with toy trucks is not going to be able to fit in with others his age.
yeah. DeAndre continued. He loves his toys, his toy cars, and he loves to play racing. So I have one 18-year-old that's still into. He wants to race, with his cars. Um, Pam says, been trying to get rid of some of Ralph's old toys. He just puts them back. I may need to pull a few night shifts, then hide them. Oh, yeah. And hope he doesn't look for a particular toy because then there'll be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have Emily's, a lot of hers hidden right now. They've been hidden for a while now in the under the stairs in the closet. But
Uh-huh.
I know as soon as we get rid of them, she's gonna ask for them. But she's at that in between stage where she might think if she knew they were going, she would ask for them.
Kiana says, Daniel has been in ABA therapy since last October, and it seems like his behavior is getting worse. Does anyone know why? Anyone have a take on that?
It might not have anything to do with ABA. It might be despite the ABA, not because of it.
See, and it may make a difference. Are you doing home based or are you doing center based? How well are you and the RBT communicating? Is there a break in communication? Are you letting them know what you would like him to focus on? And you have to make sure they are focusing on things that you want them to focus on. If you're not comfortable with certain things, definitely speak up. You can always change your RBTs or centers. If if I don't know what state are you in, Georgia? I don't know how they work, but that could be a solution. Linda, you have a take on
It
why
could
it
be
may?
that I was thinking it could be I don't know um how well Daniel and the RBT are getting along.
Uh-huh.
That makes a big difference. And even if she's working well or he's working well with Daniel, Daniel still may have some kind of difference, where he's not working well with her, where he doesn't click with them or whatever. That has to count for something too. When he does feel like that, because he's the one who has to work with them, and
Right.
sometimes too there's resistance, and you just have to keep pushing through it. It's not because of the ABA, but sometimes especially too, you don't know what phase that he may be going through mentally or emotionally. And it might be his, he wants choices. He wants to control some decisions. So, you just got to, that's what ABA is about being consistent in what you're trying to teach him and not giving in. So it may be hard and he may be going the other way, but it's something that I think that if you keep pushing it, that it could and it probably will have a turnaround, but it's not an easy thing. It takes work.
Definitely takes work. Um, Teresa says, I have a question. How do you parents keep your kids, teenagers from walking too fast in front of you when going on walks? Anyone have experience with that? DeAndre stays up under me when we're walking, especially when we're in a crowded area like the store.
Yeah, I've never had that problem because I walk fast myself. So anything, has been Dorothy trying to keep up with me, not the other way around.
Does he run, Teresa, or he's just walking fast? Thanks for the love, you guys. AP, thank you. Anyone else have a solution to that? Daniel does that everywhere we go to. It's hard to keep up, and then he's gone. Does he run, Kenyana? Or are they just walking fast? I make Jaden hold my hand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I think I do with Emily. If we're
Mhm.
out and about, like, she doesn't get up under me like Yandre does in those situations, but
Mhm.
that's where I would hold her hand. When we're out for a walk and it's like open space and everything like that, she will go ahead of us and we'll kind of have to call her and let her know, hey, okay, you're getting too far ahead. And but we try to let her do it there, but she's older too, so.
Yeah.
But she
You
does
know,
understand, like, when we tell her, "Hey, hold on, wait for us now."
slow down. Slow down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Pam says, Ralph is Toy Story and Mario toys. We have so many. Okay, he's a collector.
Yeah.
You got a friend in me. And, Kelly says Jordan is into SpongeBob. His room is done in the Grinch. He loves the Grinch. We just go with it. Okay.
Mm.
Um. Oh.
I remember my room when I was growing up. Well, we had different things in my room, but one time there was a big map of the United States across one of the walls of my bedroom, and I noticed that on the map that there were a number of national parks, and there were also a number of national Mondays. And I wondered what's a national Monday? And it didn't occur to me that MON could stand for something besides the day of the week.
Oh, monument.
Yeah.
Victoria says I have to keep up with Andrew no matter what. He refuses to hold hands and tried one of those leash things, but he just threw himself down repeatedly, or he would purposely try to pull me around with it, so it got dangerous. Okay.
Yeah, the leash thing doesn't work when the kid is stronger than you are.
Anyone else have any solutions to how how to help? Hey Danielle, how are you?
Hi,
Hey,
Danielle.
Danielle.
Did you see DeAndre and Kiyomi today? Jasmine took over and took them today. How's Daniel? Pam says, yeah, he has done that, and I had to go rebuy. Okay. Jaden wants any Thomas the Train toy. He has baby toys still that I cannot try to get out of the house. He does love books that show realistic train and the story behind them. So I want to get him more books. Okay, good idea.
Yeah, that's good.
Change his focus. P says, I know a friend of mine has a device, something like a belt. Um, what does it do? It help what? Is it a belt between the parent and the child to help them? Um, oh, it's center base. Okay. I would say with center base because I know they don't like to allow you in the sessions. You may want to request that you join a few. And if you have, you should be getting parent. Well, I'm saying you should again. I don't know how they work there, but if you do your parent meetings with the BCBA, make sure you bring up your concerns. If the behavior is changing, maybe you can see what's going on with Daniel. Maybe you can get to the why.
And
Yeah,
I think,
and
yeah,
maybe it's just a matter of the therapist needs to be made aware of what's going on at home.
that's what I was going to
Yeah,
say, the specific changing
yeah,
behavior.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too, I think, because you can't really like Nita said, you don't really see what's going on, and you don't really um, um, like when you have it at home, you can hear just about anything that's going on. He doesn't have to see you, but you can hear it. That's the benefit of at home, and then you would know where the friction is. That's where I think Nita has a really
Right.
good point, that at center they should be able to still give you that same opportunity to hear what's going on.
Yeah, because sometimes the therapist might not. It might be sort of like the position I was in when I was tutoring this boy in math, and tutoring him remotely, and I would see these homework assignments and it looked like he got the thing right. And why did the teacher mark him wrong? And then finally, I got the picture that what I was seeing was the homework sheet after he had corrected his answers, and so I wasn't seeing the his original answers, and now I better understood the things he needed to work on.
Kelly says, how old is your son? I noticed the difference in my son going into preteens, or maybe there's a change in the program. Yeah, that could be possible. Jordan is a snail.
Okay.
Okay, he walks slow. He walks really fast, Teresa says. Maybe holding his hand. Yeah, what happens when you hold his hand, Teresa? Does he allow you when you're out? Yes, girl, he's back. It's been a
Yeah.
long 4 days. Long 4 days. Yes, he is back. Kenyana says he doesn't run unless he gets mad. He usually just walks fast. He won't hold my hand though. Okay, so Daniel doesn't want to hold hands. He just wants to walk fast. Teresa says, whenever he holds my hand and then he lets go and starts walking fast. Okay. Michelle says, I used to just have Jaden hold on to my purse strap when my hands were full. So that works sometimes. Danielle says, DeAndre and Kiyomi showed up and showed out today.
All right.
All right. Daniel hit 2 home runs. All right,
All right.
Daniel.
Oh, nice.
Very
I
good.
think he was determined not to stand in the sun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's the way to, not to have to wait on bases, clear the bases.
Yeah. Kenyana says her Daniel is 10, going on 11 in October.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's approaching those teen years.
Mm-hmm. My son David is 13 years old, going into the 8th grade, Teresa.
Okay.
P on TikTok says, I usually keep DeAndre, she has a son named DeAndre also, with me side by side. Sometimes he would try to get ahead too fast. Okay. Yep. So maybe try the arm thing. Maybe putting, walking arm to arm. If the hand doesn't work, make it a game. Make it a game or something while you're walking. Maybe that'll help. P says she just calls her son's name and he comes back if he starts walking fast.
How old is he?
28. Is your son's 28, right? He's level 3. Also, I think he's 28. P is your son? Yes, he's 28 years old.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Oh, Linda, she also had a question too. Maybe you can help with it. Her son, he's 28 years old on the spectrum, and he tears up his clothes. So anytime she's been going through clothes, blue jeans, shirts, he just when he puts on clothes and just tears them up.
How like he rips them?
Yeah, rips the clothes. Um,
Does he start like, say if there's like a thread hanging out of it, or there's
yeah,
a
he'll
design?
pull it. She mentioned that he'll
Yeah,
start pulling, or he'll
yeah.
just tear up his clothes.
I know when
Okay,
Emma.
wait a minute,
Oh,
wait, hold on.
okay.
Give me
Hmm.
while you're talking. I'm getting ready to fix DeAndre this sandwich because he's gonna
Okay.
go study. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. Um, so Emily used to do that. And how I picked up on that was like, say if she had tights and it had a snag in there, she was gonna rip those up. If she had pants that had any kind of like even design, like meant to be there, kind of rip in it, she's gonna tear it up. Uh, a stitch in a sweater, a string on a shirt, she would always go for those. And it would be so bad, it wouldn't be wearable again. But so what I focused on was staying away from those kind of things. Um, but when they just um, when they just go into ripping them, and they don't have anything that's enticing them to start, because of a string or a snag, that's the hard thing. She used to bite holes into her shirts around her collar, and then when she got holes, then she would make the hole bigger, and so she did kind of get like that. We kind of What happened was she kind of got through where there was a few of her favorite shirts that she did that to, and she was upset because she couldn't wear them anymore. So that's kind of what got her to stop. I guess I don't know if he's understanding that he doesn't get to have those anymore. Um, Kenyon rips tags off of everything, which sometimes rips his clothes too. So I try to cut the tags out as soon as I buy them, but then I never know what size his clothes are. Yeah, yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, pulling those out, and if, like I said, if she's seeing any kind of breach in the material, she would rip it up. What kind of sandwich is DeAndre getting?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Oh.
Peanut butter and y'all know again. I told you every
Yeah.
time it's time to go to sleep. He's
Oh,
in the
that's right.
refrigerator. Yeah.
Yeah. Why won't this go on there?
What's wrong?
Okay, well, Victoria's won't go on there. So Victoria says yes.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Wait.
Um, yeah, she said, yes, Andrew eats his shirts too. He'll quit for a while, but then start again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
He's her son has been doing it for a long while too, and again, he's 28. So yeah, she was saying it's getting expensive because he's just
Oh, yeah.
ripping up his clothes, and she's been trying to find a solution.
Yeah. And then there was the guy that was chomping on his neckwear while he was singing, "Eyes just biting my ties, 'cause that's the kind of guy eyes."
Oh my goodness, Mr. Charles. Okay, you guys, we are at our last few minutes. If you have, I'm going to put the link in the chat here on Facebook. If you are in a group, make sure you click on the video to get to the live chat. If you like to share something, some motivation, inspiration, you just want to say hi. Hi to everybody. If you have an event coming up, if you have an organization, a group, that you'd like to share, feel free to come on up and share it. For those of you on TikTok, if you like to come on up, you like to share, say hi. Um, share anything you have going on. Feel free. If you just want to share some motivation, that's fine too. Come on up. Um, we got a few more minutes before we log off for the night. And Victoria says, cloth chewies help if I'm home to redirect him to use it. Okay. Have you tried chewies, P? I don't remember if you, but it's not the chewing, I don't think. It's the tearing, the ripping of the clothes. Thank you, Danielle. Thanks for the stars. Thanks for the love. She said no, she hasn't tried that. Yeah, maybe if you can get him chewies, maybe that'll help redirect him from, because it seems like he has to have something to do, you know?
Yeah. I was going to ask, is he ripping them because he likes to rip them, or is he ripping them because he doesn't like to wear them?
Right. So maybe some sort of try it at least, you know. She said it's the tearing up, just tearing them
Oh,
up.
okay.
I would
Mm-hmm.
say in general, that's true with undesirable behavior. A kid on the autism spectrum is you have to try to understand why he's doing it and then
Mm-hmm.
tailor the response to the reason why the child is doing whatever.
Okay, and P. Victoria says or asks, have you thought about giving him like a piece of fabric to rip? So when he gets stressed, just hand him a piece of fabric, um, to help with that. Maybe redirect him from the clothes and just take the fabric and rip up. Yeah, it's definitely a sensory thing. Definitely something's going on there. Either it's a
Mm-hmm.
feel thing where he just doesn't like the clothing on him, or
Yeah.
I don't know, or maybe like I said, maybe he needs just something for him to do. And maybe like Victoria said, suggested maybe some fabric in place of the clothes. So when he gets dressed, just hand him a piece of fabric and see if that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Hmm.
Anita,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think giving him
where is Sammy?
he just, where did he go? Right here under
Oh,
my chair.
yeah, Sammy,
Sammy.
Sammy. I'm so glad he's back. I forgot. I was like, wait, I gotta see Sammy.
Come on.
yeah,
Sammy.
I think that's
I
the
just
point of
had
that
him.
question.
I just had him up here. You didn't see him
Oh,
when I had
oh
him
no,
up
I
here?
didn't see. No, my phone was laying
Oh,
down.
man, I
Hey,
was running my mouth, Sammy.
Sammy, Sammy, where was you at? Where did you
Say hey,
go,
everybody.
Sammy? Hi, Sammy. His
I think
ears
what
are
you're saying
huge.
Uh-huh.
is is again the reason behind a behavior because of the difference between a child who he just wants something to rip versus a child who's irritated by his clothes in some way, and that's the problem. Giving him something else to rip is not going to solve that problem.
Okay,
Because
you don't
he'll,
think so?
yeah. I, I
Okay.
think I think if the sensory is because he's trying to get it off of him, yeah, that will change it, I think. But
Mm.
if the sensory is the ripping of the fabric, then yeah, I think probably giving him something. It's kind of like too with your dogs. You don't give them an old shoe to chew up, even though you don't want it anymore, because then
Right.
they think all shoes are okay to tear up.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, like Victoria said, some kind of fabric, and then maybe he'll learn that only tear up that kind of fabric, the extra fabric, not clothing.
She says he doesn't want that, the fabric. If I give him something to tear up, he still does his clothes. Oh wow. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my doggy. Thank you.
I'm so glad he came back.
Me too, girl. Me too. Me too. So once again, we are at our last couple minutes. Anyone wants to come up, share some final thoughts, or if you have something you want to share, are you doing something awesome for autism? Do you have an event coming up? You have an organization, you have a group you want to share? Please come on up. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says, so tricky with our kiddos. Sometimes working on things opens the door for other possibilities. For example, OT would rip pieces of paper with Jonathan, but then I became very aware of him spontaneously picking up papers and ripping them. And I was scared he'd do that to important documents. Yeah, I can understand that.
And sometimes these therapists too, therapists vary, and some don't think,
Hey,
some
Danielle,
are
tap
more
that
aware,
screen.
some can be more aware of the possible unintended consequences of what they have the child doing than others may be.
Mm-hmm.
And that, as that case illustrates, teach your child to rip papers. Okay, that's fun, but what's he going to decide it's okay to do when he gets home?
Right. Michelle says, okay, she's offering some inspiration here. It's for all of you parents. You are doing a great job. You are amazing. You are loved. Take care of yourself so you can continue doing your best. You are loved. You are worth it. You are the best you can the best you that you need to be. You fill our hearts and souls full of love. Never give up. Keep it up. That's for all of you.
Thank you,
Kelly,
Michelle.
thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Um, Kelly says, have a great week, everyone. Any
You too,
last
Kelly.
final thoughts, Linda?
Everybody just have a great week.
Mr.
Thank you.
Charles?
Yeah, everybody have a good day. Again, realize, these occupational therapy, ABA, all that, it can do a lot of good, but you gotta, stay on top of the therapist, work with the therapist, and again realize, when things come up with these unintended consequences, you gotta let the therapist know what's going on at home.
Right. Okay, everybody. Thank you. All of you showing love over on TikTok. We'll be back again next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. P says thank you, everyone. And you guys have a wonderful week ahead. God bless you all. God bless you too, P. Thank you for tuning in. And on that note, may you all have a wonderful, wonderful upcoming week on purpose. And we will see you guys soon. Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Have a
Good
good
everyone.
night.
night.